All right, guys. Let me get some music here. Hold on. I'm having a hard time doing this. 1 second, people. If I get this thing started. All right. Oh. Let's get it. Yo. Oh, wait. I can't do it like that. I got to do the right way, guys. You know how I do it. Mm, 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 mm. Yes. Welcome. Welcome again to another podcast slash stream. Hold on, guys. All right. Welcome again to Chaos Rain channel. I'm Chaos Rain here, as you know. If you're new to the channel, thank you. And always, for those who want to find a search for the stream on the YouTube version, type in Chaos Rain. When you type in Chaos Rain, you'll see the nice little snake with the piercing avatar. And hit the red button and the top bell, not the middle, but the top bell, ding, where you know there's notifications and when I go live. Also, you can now follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7, where I just post certain things. Like I said, Twitter is a little bit more challenging than anything else, but more people just tweet on certain things. But like I said, I will have to probably be more active on Twitter. But till then, just follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. And I'm just looking through my thing right now. All right, I was looking for my notifications. Also, you could what do you call it? You could also follow me on Facebook as well. I go by Eric Rain on Facebook. It's spelled. Let me see if I give this. ERICK Rain. Add me on Facebook as well. We could chop it up on anything on over there as well. What else? Oh yeah, I have all from season 1 and season 2 and other broadcasts on podcasting / Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, and I'm trying to find what other podcasts. Those are the few podcasts I'm on as well. So if you're not accustomed to the YouTube side of things, you could also find some of the episodes on the podcast where you could listen, drive through. So these are the links you can follow me at. Now, before I get to the subject, I'm just going through some of the last things. And as you know, Facebook is very interactive from what I'm looking right here. Interesting. Interesting indeed. I say one thing, the internet is a very interesting place. I feel most people don't take advantage of using the internet properly, in my opinion. There's so much potential people could use throughout the internet. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, I tell you. Likewise, I've been on the internet thing now for over a decade now. And even me understanding it and its purpose and the power it has, I think a lot of people waste it, in my opinion. The internet is a place where you should be networking. You should be connecting with other people, having a conversation, whether good or bad. You should take advantage of it to where you could possibly, and I say possibly, empower yourself. But I feel most people don't want to do that work. Usually people want to be on the internet just to, I guess, what's the word? Fuck around. Maybe gossip sometimes, look for validation in regards to people liking pictures. Hell, even sometimes I might used to conversate relatives, but it's much more greater than that. It's much more important, I tell you. It is much more powerful than most people don't take it for granted. I know I take advantage of the internet as much as possible. Hmm. But let me stop that here. All right, so let me Let me look. Okay, so I guess I lay out the parameters. I might give this one or two. No, matter of fact, I'll go into the subject. Now, why is this title? Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Because let's be honest, people. A lot of women, and I mean a lot of women, really blunt, do and care and don't give a crap about protection on the average. On the average. But they always, when they with that right type of dude, they want it raw. Now we don't understand, why do certain women want it raw? Well, there's many things. One is that they want to feel all the inches in their vaginal wall, and they want it all nice in it, where the man is beating up that thing up nicely. That's one scenario. And that they really, and the other second thing is, I hear, and this is, I'm not sure if it's speculating or rumor, but a lot of them are allergic to certain types of condoms, which is okay. Now they have other forms of protection. Usually they got lambskin, they got sheep, which is the same thing as lamb. Hell, they got cow skin, and hell, they might even create things like monkey skin. That was being funny here, monkey skin. But the point is this: that women, if they're really into, like they really say they're into, or so that they just like for the first time and they just like attracted, they will, and I mean they will want it raw. I tell you, yes, they do. Yes. Now the science of it all is that we always say that some women, and we could say black women for the sake of conversation, we'll just mess around with it, that I hear that a lot of them want and don't mind raw sex. And they should be always telling the men that they're sexually engaged with to always put on the rubber. Now I hear this from most dudes about some ladies don't like when them putting on want them put the rubber on when they're having sex. And the thing that comes to the back of my mind is simple, because they are sexually attracted to one thing. They don't really care about the so-called safeties of the health with or without the condom. Mostly, raw sex will lead to many things. But really, truly, they're really into when they said, "Baby, I want it raw." Now, most or few content creators that you hear, not speculating on rumors, that got it raw. You know, some. But to go in more detail, you have to think about this. In the society we in, where as dude, you only do your part to get either woman that you're attracted to, or just want to get any form of woman just to, let a nut off. 9/10 of the time, you're gonna be fucking some chick raw. You know what I'm saying? That you as a man might be sexually attracted to. And it is what it is. And sometimes you might think twice and say you value your seed and you don't want to just shoot up the club of any womb. And now, because people now are engaged in anal sex now they're shooting the club in all forms of the hole, whether it's from the vaginal, whether it's from the anus, or whether it's in your mouth. Nonetheless, the club is getting shot up raw. But if you think about it, and you think good about it, that with this type of behavior, and like I said, this type of behavior, the only end game consequence of this type of behavior is the greatest thing of all, and that is a baby will be created with this raw sex. And I mean, a baby will be created with this type of actions. And one of the few things that a lot of dudes, right, they get it in raw and they bust a nut in there. And a week or two later, she comes in front of this type of dude and tells, say, I'm pregnant. Their heart gasps. They look at that chick funny sometimes, at it in happiness, joyful, or discontent, or just anger, or just shock or surprise. And there are some dudes that sometimes are shocked and surprised that how this happened. How did I? Wait, how are you pregnant? It could be me. I might have busted you, but I don't think my thing that strong to get you pregnant. Was you on your cycle? I mean, these things that some dudes will ask these dumb questions. But you must understand that once you like it and you do it raw, that is the possible consequence when engaging in the raw sex. And this is going to be as real as it's going to be because it's not being talked about. Now, they said more than half of the black male population, where it comes to protection, because they don't have kids. And that could be challenging, but I would say we can agree on this because let's be honest, the ones that is working on their grind, and let's say some of them even go as far as their purpose, they just don't want just any kid from any chick, rather she looks good, meaning that her body's nice, she got a fat booty, big titties, slim waist, or just a chick that's nice and slim, thick, doesn't big in all areas, but she's very petite in a good way. Some dudes now are very much smart on how they move around with their seeds. But then they'll still want that raw sex. They're just hoping that you as a lady, as a woman, or girl, or wherever age you are, that you are at the point where you are protecting yourself heavily, meaning that you're taking all forms of concept from birth control pills to that Depo-Provera shot to the implant thing to all these form of birth controls that most of them, right? They say they don't like or not. And let's be honest, when I hear women say they don't use that shit, it tells me that they don't value the precious womb. Regardless, the womb might be potentially hurt for a little while. And I mean hurt for a little while because if you're on those form of concept, especially if you're on the Depo-Provera or any other form of concept besides the pill, the morning pill and all that stuff, or just the birth control pills, which do have side effects, and the Depo-Provera itself has even more side effects. If you're a woman, you're not seeing yourself being a mother anytime soon, especially in your 20s, and we could say maybe 30s, then obviously those forms will hurt you for a little bit, but those things will easily correct itself within the first year and a half or two, at best. Now, it is said that these things will last maybe 3 years if you're taking things like the Depo-Provera or the implant, which the implant says more safer, but it messes up your hormones. Trust me, I know one woman said that she had to stop taking it because her hormones were out of line. And we all know that the male populace, where they have things like snipping your seed and all stuff, men are not going to do that shit, ladies. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. They're just not going to do it. And the reason why they're not going to do it is because no man trusts his seed and hell, even his prostate, to no institution that really truly is trying to control a certain set of male population. Now, we all know the history of black people, especially in the West, especially black men. They know that the first thing they do before they attack the body, back then, and probably can say now, they always attack the reproductive parts of the black man. Hell, the environment and the drugs and certain foods we eat affects the reproductive parts of humans, especially certain set of male species. So most men, and I would say majority of men, including the black man, knows this. That's why he don't trust certain institutions, hospitals, or any etc. The only time a black man will go to a hospital is when he is forced because something happened to him. Now, it's not a smart way to move about in life that you only go see doctor when something really happens. We should be more cognizant of our health, and we should be constantly getting checked up as men. But normally, that's how most men, if you're especially a black man, or I could say any man, but mostly we talking about black men for this portion of the conversation, we don't really take the health real seriously and really getting checkups. Hell, some dudes don't even want no checkups to check if they have any prostate issues, meaning that man's gonna stick his finger in somebody's anus. No, oh no, man's not gonna do that. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. They rather sit there and say, fuck it, I'll just deal with it. I'll deal with it. I'm not gonna do that. I don't want no man doing that. And it's fine because it's another form of homosexuality. When another man tries to check you, or any person, even women, up there engaged, putting fingers in, you know, it's not a good look. And most men with sense will not be down for that shit. That's a fact. Now, if I'm thinking why they like it raw, because it came to me of a scenario when I was listening to another certain stream of a woman. A woman sits there and gets knocked up by a man that already has kids. And I mean that this man either was he married, which I doubt he was, but he just has different relationship with 2 or 3 different women and probably has 3 kids. Maybe one from one relationship, which I call hookup, and had kids from another, maybe actual relationship, long term or short term, and had kids into another one, and the list goes on. The point is this: this woman was aware this man had kids, and she proceeds to go and engage in a, I like to call, short-term fling. And the short-term fling was only in 1 month. Now, I'm not sure if y'all guys get what I'm saying here with the story. Y'all might follow me here. Y'all might know what I'm talking about. But last time I checked, there's no way in hell you as a adult woman of any age, especially in your 30s and past, let's say, the wall stage where you are at a risk of high risk pregnancy after 35, you decide, say, you take the first dude that you're sexually attracted to and get knocked up. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. It's amazed me to find the excuse certain women, not all, but just a good portion, will put themselves in position doing that bullshit. It tells me throughout the first 10 years of your life in your 20s, you were not thinking of becoming something more than, or potentially becoming what we call baby mama. And we all know baby mama in this community is frowned upon. It's not really looked at as endearment, something that's a praise, or something that, I want to be this, and it's actually looked and down upon and shameful to this community here, particularly Black community. And let's be honest, use a woman that goes away and get knocked up by just any man, and a man doesn't even give you no action, looking forward to making this more than a long-term thing where at least there's a marriage going to be involved in this, which I'm sorry to say, in America especially, marriage is not really a positive thing that is looked upon, that somebody's going to get married and it's going to be there for the long haul. And I've been contemplating about doing a show on this that the lead attorney told me that I should think about in regards to dealing with the divorce issue here in the West we call America. And I'm going to eventually do that show. I'm just thinking the right day of when to do it, because it needs to be done anyway. It needs to be looked at, has to be examined. I think I got some tangible solutions that eventually somebody might take and steal for themselves to maybe put in legislation, possibly. But I just came with a scenario that is more secure for either party, and mostly it's gonna probably do more protection for the men, more say, because the men, let's be honest, once men get married, that's it, and ladies know this. That's why they initiate divorce more times than often. And if y'all ladies never understand this, and I can't speak for other races of men, because other races of men, they will divorce you. Yes, they will. And I'm not sure if blackdemographics.com explains in detail. I doubt it. But certain set of men, especially if you're a black man, you're most likely, once you get married, that's a wrap. You're not gonna think about, I need to leave this woman, go, no, or I'm gonna go find another one and divorce this wife and go find another one. That's not the normal think of an average man, especially average black man, if he's getting married in America, the West. Outside America, the rules are different in regards to marriage and the rules of divorce and who gets who. But here, if you as a man and you're not really well prenup protected, no matter what economic status you are, you're going to be hurt with 50-50, especially if you're a man that makes more. And to even talk about this, it lets me know when they say that women are taking half of some dude's shit, it lets me know that you men, or men in general, you're actually doing pretty good, because the judge rules in favor where he's giving your spouse your income, your resource out of that bunch. Then, the other way around, if we're talking about 50-50, I mean, some women, from what I'm here, say they do make more than men. If they're employed and the man is not working, yeah, you're going to make more than a man. But imagine a man is working and eventually he's making more money than you. Then it makes it easier for anybody to really file a divorce. I think with Cardi B, because she was going to divorce Offset, yes, that it didn't go down. Now, maybe Cardi's parents stepped in, her mother or father, possibly, and I say possibly. But I'll say this. They know something that she doesn't really understand. And I think what they understand is that you do make more money than your mate. So if you go through with this divorce, you're going to eat bulk of that divorce. So it makes me think, imagine if Offset was doing much better than Nicki. I mean, much better than Cardi. You think someone's going to sit and tell her not to divorce him? And here's the funny thing about all this, because she's pregnant again, that this man already had kids already. So right there, it shows the value of women, that you like to deal with men that's already occupied. And here's the sad thing about all this. You talk about, say you, and mind, this is some applied to certain women. I'm not sure I can speak for all, because I had to find some that will come up on the panel, which, I doubt they're going to. But let me see this. I would say this. They if he'd made, no, actually, I'm sorry. They want a man that they're dealing with that has no kids, if they have kids from a previous relationship, but don't want to deal with any man that's equally yoked, meaning that they have kids already. I find that very hypocritical. I'm not sure why they fake like this, that a man is going to sit there, you're going to find some fresh dude that have no kids so you can sit there, add more to your pie. To me, what comes to mind thinking on that is that you want another dude so that way you got more than one baby daddy to funnel your little lifestyle, if you have any lifestyle. And it makes sense, because imagine you deal with, yes, you're right. And here's the sad thing about that certain island women are no different than the Western woman here in America. Remember, Eurocentricism, I like to call it ism, is global. So because the culture is a little different. It's not too far different from what we have here in the West. The only thing difference is who runs the country. Now, you know, Cardi B parents are from two different islands, one from Trinidad, one from Dominican Republic. And we all know those countries mostly are run by non-white males on the average. There's some mixed people there and there's some that are black, but it's mostly more run by people that is not a fully white country per se. I think Trinidad is run by Indians. I could be wrong. I think Dominican Republic, depending who's the president, runs that. It might be either a mixed person or another European. I don't know. But to say that those countries are more in line with the patriarchal than here in the West we call America. They call this America here to a lot of content creators, podcasters, people that reiterate as a gynocracy run by some type of pseudo women that's acting like a man. I mean, that's the definition I get out of it. But like I said, yeah, she's an island woman that, you know, it was not gonna get down. It was not gonna go down. She was not gonna get divorced, that dude, because on her side, they know she doing that is gonna be more detrimental to her than him. And let's be honest, she walked into it. But like I said, most women, they're on the average the best, and they know their self-worth by who they can attract and who they can keep. And we all know most women, some of our sisters, are not attracting and keeping most of the men in the community, regardless of his economic situation. It's honest truth. And yeah, Nicki, Rihanna, and Foxy Brown. It's good for you to mention it. Thank you, Wender. You think about those three. I think Foxy doesn't have no kids. I know Rihanna doesn't have no kids. Nicki, she has a kid. And you know who she got a kid by? The same little pedophile boy or the pedophile man that fucked her and raped her when she was younger. Imagine that. You get traumatized by the same people in your family and you go around and get knocked and married to the same one that, you know, molest and rape you. I find that very odd, but not surprising, because a woman's self-worth is who she sees and respect her own self, and she don't value herself any more than what, you know, she has experienced. And that's honest truth. And we all know it's true because she sit there. Oh, she has a daughter? Okay, that's good. Is she married, Mr. Winder? Let me know. And it's a little bit off subject, but I'm just gonna tie it back in. That she procreated, and I don't think Nicki's married, to be honest with you. I think she might be married. I don't think so. I don't remember she being married, but either if she is, if you look at the mate selection, and I hear a lot of women complain, say you need to get somebody that's over your level. You can't if you're an artist. The only way you're going to get that is somebody that's in the same business, that's in the same field as you as an artist, that possibly is even better in regards to the music they produce and notoriety. You only get as high as your SMV. And in the entertainment world, if you make more as an artist and that's your bread and butter, most likely the caliber man you get in it is very slim. You get some men, but it's going to be a small pool in that same circle you're in that you're fucking sucking. And let's be honest, guys, 9/10 time, most women that make more money like that than men in the business, they fucking younger men. Mark my word, I'm not telling you that, they fuck younger men. Hell, listen, you would know that by Mary J. Blige. She was in her mid-20s, fucking a teenager boy. That's not surprising. What do you expect? Well, there are some content creators, Wender, that talked about her being knocked up, and they did show pictures of the man that she is in a relationship that is the baby father. And it was a video of her driving a SUV of, I guess, the baby father in the passenger seat. So there's pictures out there of the man. But the point is this, that she decided to get knocked up and carried the child and, had the baby. And, she's now, from what I'm hearing, is back in the music scene again, starting things off. She said she was going to retire from it. But we all know most women lie, like always. How you going to retire? You build a whole catalog and career doing music and being mainstream for the past 11 years. It's backwards if you think about it. But like I said, women will say one thing, but they do something totally different. It is what it is. It's the nature of everything. You get me? Now Rihanna, we all know she's not getting married. Well, did she get married? No, she's not. She's never gonna get married. Let's be honest. Are here with relationships with other men, but like I said, she's from the island as well. So, there's no real actual loyalty when it comes to women that's from the island, from Africa, or so that's quote unquote black. There's some exceptions. Some will, but overall, most of them, once they come to US, or they're gonna be swirling up. It comes with the territory. They like to fucking suck just like the women here in America. The only thing is that they'll fucking suck anything, and eventually they'll throw it in your face, Yeah. But to that, and one thing with Foxy Brown, because I don't know much about her, she a fine, beautiful black woman, dark-skinned woman, keep herself, to par. I know she had issues with her reproduction years ago. And I'm not sure how old her daughter is now, but she had a hard time for the last few years conceiving because she was an older woman, But it comes like that when you're a woman that you think of starting a family late at your age. I mean, the United States and the Census Bureau, and they already did data on us that it's not really wise for women to wait too long because the eggs are finite. They're very precious, Gotta make use of the eggs as best as possible. That's why you see a lot of dudes be harping and telling women that, as soon as possible, once you're like in a certain age, especially if you're like early 20s, you want to get out the market as soon as possible, as best as possible. Because prolonging it, you put yourself at a more harsher risk to not only deal with the body count, which, let's be honest, most dudes don't give a fuck about body count. I'm sorry. If you can get into that pussy, they would. Trust me. But also the amount of damage it does to you psychologically. Because if you're going through bouncing from dick to dick, relationship in less than a year, it's going to fuck with your head. I remember one chick, and I can't find that audio clip, but she said that the effects when the woman sit there have sex with random dudes is leaving peace in them where they can't conceptualize and pair bond with a man. This is a true statement. And there probably is scientific data out there if people want to really dig in it and find it. It's out there. But it's not really expressed too much because, let's be honest, in this society, this culture, they're promoting that women, you have freedom of choice. You could have sex with who you want, anyone, and you should not be shamed about. There will be no slut shaming. One second, guys. No slut shaming. And that's what they push for the last few years, and they pushing out to regular society and telling men in the group that you can't shame me because I want to have sex. I want to fucking suck whoever. You can't shame me. I said, good luck to that. But let me read the comments. Okay. Says here, Rihanna wants a kid. I hope she do better than ASAP Rocky. She said having stayed with Turkish billionaire. She should have stayed with a Turkish billionaire. You're right. She should have stayed, but let me tell you why she don't stay. Because let me tell you something. And listen to me good, gentlemen. If you're born and raised here in the West, we call America, for more than 10 years, which Rihanna was not originally born in America, but she came here at 16 years old. Or actually, she came here at age 14 back in 2002, I think, or 2003, either 14, 15. She first flew out here and came here to audition to become a singer. And trust me, she got signed right away. And her album came out back in 2004. She's been in this country for over 17 years. Listen to me good. Hear me good. She's been here for 17 years. Any woman that's been here and came to this country while they're a teenager, especially an early teenager, and been in this Western / American culture for over 10 years will change you. I hear stories of a lot of women that come from different parts of the world that came here young, some even young as before they hit 12. If they stay and groom and been raised here for the first 10 years, they're consciously and culturally indoctrinated. It's not 5 years or less. It's over 10 years. So Rihanna, overall, is going to be culturally indoctrinated in this Western world, this Western hemisphere, this Western country. So she's not thinking of being no fucking wife. Why? She makes her own money. And she doesn't make as much as that billionaire, but she make her own money. So, and you must understand, when a woman makes the amount of money like her and is making in the millions and make her money easy, why would she want to be set under the ruleship of a man? That's a question every man should ask themselves. That. So, yeah, she's not going to marry that billionaire because that billionaire is going to require certain standards. And the standards he requires is going to be something that she can't fulfill. And let me tell you something. A Turkish billionaire married her in America and stayed here. She'll divorce him in less time, and she will be entitled to a good portion of his wealth, which is nothing to anybody that makes billions of dollars. Hell, look at Janet Jackson. She was married to an Islam or Arab man and had his baby. And eventually, she divorced him and he decided papers and sent her out because, it's nothing to them. See, only the fear of divorce is only a problem for the black man, Wander. Other groups of men, because they got their money and stuff, and they get the money different, and they get the money from other nations, other groups of people, especially black people. They don't have to worry about, divorcing any other woman. Especially women that they just tired of. They'll say, I'm just gonna give you my walking papers, sign these little papers, and send you off your way, and keep pushing. So that's something you have to think about. Let's see what the comment says here. Wayne wrote, I heard men have something similar happening to them as they get to 37 plus. I hope it's not true because this is the age I want to have kids. You gotta understand, Wander. As a man, you can have kids until up to, if they don't remove your prostate. You can have them as long as up to you're almost dead. I give you examples since you ask. Dr. Sabi was still fucking having kids up to his 70s. He died when he was, I think he turned 80 when he died. No, he died in his 70s for a reason. Who else I can name? I can't name anybody else off my head. There are some other older gentlemen that are having kids in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. I remember the same herbalist Dr. Sebi, I'm quoting verbatim, that he knows, and this is a video film back in 1995 or 96 when he was interviewed, that he know of one dude, older man, that still able to walk and run, but he lived in a different country. He was in his hundreds, banging and having sex with 20-something-year-old women. And he knocked up one or two. So as long as you're able to produce sperm and bust a nut, you have no concerns. You see, women like to use this clock thing on men to control the sexual activity of men. They're using to control the sexual activity of men, and that's impossible. Because in society, even in nature, if we want to go there, nature tells you that there's always going to be more abundance of women than men. And we never think and really think good. Why is that? Because in society, to sustain itself, you need a plethora of women. And once you don't have that plethora of women, and there's more men than women, then by default, your society dies. Once you have more men than women, because now every man is going to try to fight and kill just to get access to one woman or two. And how nature works, nature always has a way where you got to have more women than men. That's how it's designed. Look at China. And I want men to think about this clearly. Because now China, now they enforce, now you can have 2 children instead of 1, from what I'm hearing now. But for the last couple decades, they only have you restricted to 1 child. Why? Because they know the essence of feeding a nation. And if you have more than 1 child by the said Asian couple, then it overcrowds and it makes it hard for you to feed your society. And mind you, China is overpopulated. Let you know. So with the 1-child rule, you still overpopulate. But we don't talk about this. We never mention about this. So think about this. In nature, there's always going to be more women than men. It's only certain societies like Asia, especially China, they kind of go beyond nature and say, no, screw that. We're going to have, if anything, I'd rather we have a more set of males than females. Look at the population, how this society is running well, how it's going. You have a deficit of women because there are a lot of Asian men that are working jobs, hell, probably working careers and working for somebody else on the average, and they got no wife to call for their own to fuck and procreate and have family of their own. You have virgins in Asia. Imagine that. Men that's 30, even 40 years old, never had their dick suck or get fucked in life. So when people tell me say they want to emulate Asian culture, Asian people, I gotta ask them, who you want to emulate to whom? Yeah, they might be productive. I said they might be productive, but that'll make them a better society. Because in nature, you're supposed to have more women and men anyway. Why you go beyond nature and want to do the opposite? And you do that because by default, you and your mind feels men are more important than women. So it's better to have abundance of men and very little women. How that's working for you? Because now when you have that, that means now you create more of an environment where men are going to be very much animalistic. Because men, by default, at the end of the day, they want to procreate and carry on their legacy with their seed. And they have nothing in place to fuck. To carry on that, on the average, they're going to turn violent. So you know what Asia does? Especially in China? They overshore and send off their overpopulated male population, and they go to other nations to, in another form of colonization. But I'm not going to go any further than that because you will see it for yourself. You've seen it now. So, but let me check on more in the comment sections. Yeah, And you gotta understand, because you're a male, as long as you produce sperm and you're able to bust nuts, you're gonna still be having children. Now I hear a lot of women try to use a scare that your sperm's gonna be degenerate, the quality is not gonna be that good. You're gonna produce a retard baby. Hell, what they call this baby? They go to ADHD babies, or what do you call those things? Symptoms that babies go through. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me in the comment section. These things will happen to children if you're an old man and you finally have a kid by a woman of a certain age. And I look at that as a full of mockery. Bullshit. Hell, I know some of my family, some of my old uncles had kids, and they were not in their fucking 30s. Let me scratch it. Yeah, they were in their 30s, but they were still producing children up to they reached in their 60s. And it's not by no younger woman either. It's a woman that's in their 30s. So I'm telling you, brothers, when you go back to this playback and listen to this message, stop listening to fucking stupid fucking women, because they feel they're the same playing field as you as a man. And they think they got the same time as you, and they don't fucking have it. The men, even in a lot of black men, and we could say even white men, or what they call master men, been telling the fucking women this for fucking years. But we gotta be honest, what really is the really end game? Is the end game is trying to control a same stupid narrative to say that men and women are equal, and we are not. We are not. I know it. You know it. Everybody else knows it. So you can keep playing these nonsense games that you are equal to men. You're not. Just like certain men are equal to certain things women could do. You never hear no woman talk that dumb shit. But I hear frowned upon in this society. Outside America, the third world countries, they look at that and laugh. Because everybody function, operate in their sex, in their own roles, etc. So they can miss me with that bullshit. I'm just going down looking on a list. And even back to the thing with the raw sex, or baby, I like it raw. It's telling that, you know, women know that they're on a clock. They know this. So if you as a man are not aware of this and not really paying attention, you don't really understand actual female nature. If they can't get the man that they really want, they will find a man that they have to be somewhat attracted to procreate. It's one the other. And trust me, most women, they will waste 10 years of their life as an adult before they decide to have a child in this day and age. Because the average percentage now for women giving birth for the first time in the West is right now, last time I checked, it was like 26.6, but that was back in 2019. I would say it probably now is close to 29.9. And that's just a guess, because it was nearly 27 years of age before a first child for a woman in America. It's probably now double that now, that it's pushed even further now to up to close to 30. So yeah, women are waiting longer to have children. That's in their right. But which person they want to procreate or who they choose, that's another story to talk about. And we all know they're not getting it like that. So a lot of dudes that's thinking that they are making the bad decisions, or there's no men that they could find. Yes, there's some men they could have found, that's probably doing what he should be doing to maybe make a life and stay for a long haul or work it out or build something with, they are somewhat there because let's be honest, if there are like 2 million more black women, that means if we look at the numbers now, we're looking at roughly close to 50 million Americans, and this 50 million are black. Out of the 87% non-black, which roughly makes the population of America 330 something million, and then 40 million of that, or 50 million, is so-called black. So we subtract that, you look at roughly 200 million. Might be right or wrong. Let's see, 30. You look at roughly 280 million non-black, and some people that categorize themselves as white. Keep that in mind. They add and conflate the numbers. So you must know that women know who they want to sleep and procreate at the end of the day. Gentlemen, it's no weird story. And I listen to a few content creators that have these discussion with women, and when I hear it, I'm pretty much disgusted because it's not only the accountability a lot of women don't take for their own actions, but they make some bullshit excuse why they do what they do. And it makes me wonder that a lot of women by default will give other women bad advice. Unfortunately. At least with a man, he's going to keep it real honest with other men. And he won't say it's just to, well, actually, other men, when they give other advice to other young men, it's really for their own protection and self-preservation. Because other men want to see other black men do well and somewhat win. They don't want to see too many men, especially black men, take too many L's out here in the streets. Because a lot of young dudes, I'm sorry to say, have been raised by one parent most of their life. And it goes beyond the 78% of single motherhood in America, especially when it comes to our community. It's generally, there's no man in presence that's in the development of these boys. So a lot of these boys got to figure things out. And obviously, if they don't get molested before they reach the age 18, God willing, they're figuring a lot of things out the hard way. Hell, they go to spaces to figure guidance and direction what to do, or why they suffering the same issues with the opposite sex. They look for answers, most young boys. I don't blame them because there's no actual guidance, no male guidance that they consider sit down and talk to. I wish there were more male guys, somebody in their family, whether their uncles, their grandfathers, not the brothers per se, depending on how old their brother is, but someone that they could trust to have conversations. They got to come to the internet to find their answers. Ain't that something? And this applies to the women, to young women. They find their answers through the internet. And it tells you if your child has looked for someone throughout the internet for answers, I don't give a fuck what you say or want to call it. You have failed as a parent. Whether you're a mother raising your son daughters, or if you have both you and your husband raise your children still look to the internet for answers. That's a failure. So, like I said, the raw sex portion of all this is that, yeah, ladies like it raw. And there's no shame in their game. They won't admit this because they're not, because let's be honest, they got to keep the head games going amongst men that's over the age of 18 or older. They got to keep the games going. And I tell you, as young, for you dudes that's younger than under age 25, that don't fall for these games. I know you're not going to have much dick control because you have a lot of testosterone and you want to just bust all over the place. I'm telling you, as a man, personally, be very cautious now, more than ever. And not the child support you have to be concerned about. You have to be concerned about this bond that you're going to have with this chick that 9/10 of the time you don't see yourself marrying or being built anything long term. because this system is designed for place to preserve and protect women. Don't be fooled that now people are going to get evicted out their apartments, which most of them I think are women. I can't speak for the men because I heard some dudes are homeless, some of them. But we all know once the evictions start coming and you get kicked out of your house, we all know most women are not paying their rents. And it shows me the responsibility that if you have children and you not keep up with the rent or keeping some form of money, it lets me know, say, you can't turn to somebody to help you lift you up through the real hard times, especially if you have kids by the dudes that you're sexually attracted to. It's telling. You tell me this dude that you are fucking sucking can't even pay the fucking rent? At least the rent. If you have kids and the kids are present. Section 8 only do so much. But still, you need some male presence. But I find when the government had to make a decision during the pandemic, and a lot of people that got evicted, I had to conclude that I know majority of people that got evicted, some of the majority were women. And if you get kicked out of your house, your apartment, because you're not paying your rent, it's telling. That's why I find in the environment we're in, they talk about people who's good with money. I had to really sit back and think about this because a lot of women not really good with money. And I can see why yeah, I can see why when the brother, Mr. Sam, has been saying this about this economy, for them to maintain the economy they're in, they have to make someone be the consumer. And they know women are going to be consuming the most. So they got to keep you perpetually spending money on bullshit. And you know the bullshit I'm talking about that y'all spending. I'm not going detail to that. And I know what I'm talking about. But the fact is this. At the end of the day, you as a man, the only thing you could do in this environment is not only protect your seed, but protect your sanity and your mental health. Because the women out here today, they are going to take advantage of you and going to use you for the benefit. Their self-preservation. It's inherent for them to do this. So if you're not understanding the female nature now, I don't know when you will. You don't want to start falling your ass and get bitten and develop red pill rage over this. It's unnecessary. It is very much unnecessary. You get me? So the only way for actual remedies, keep in mind that these women do like raw sex. They won't advocate, say they don't like it. They'll condone it secretly to you. All I know is be very cautious. And you don't see me talking about STDs. You know why I don't really mention about STDs on here? Because I'm be honest with you, guys and ladies. Y'all don't give a fuck about that. As long as you're getting some good head and getting some good dick and getting your dick sucked, eating pussy, fucking, doing all forms of sexual indecencies, that just goes out for you, your thinking. I'm just be honest. So I don't really talk much about it because if you're really concerned about this, and let's be honest, really concerned about it, then you better off just dealing with one partner and staying with them. But we all know in the society we're in, especially when women are just sexually loose and promiscuous than the men, you know they're going to be getting body counts and they're going to absorb energies and possibly catch the STD here and there. It is what it is. There's no turn back on that. So no way you're going to protect yourself if a woman's concerned about it and if a dude's concerned about it, then you deal with one partner and one partner only. But we all know, from what I'm hearing from very few content creators, very few, and this is from certain females, that they feel they should not be monogamous. They should be polyamorous like the men. And I'm going to tell you brothers this. If you hear any sick fucking bitch talking about say they don't like being monogamous, you run fast. Fast, fast, fast. Matter of fact, Don't worry, I'll put some at the end of it. Let y'all, watch for yourself. How one woman views about a woman feels that, being monogamous is not in a woman's nature. Catch that if you stay at the end of this video. All right. But that's all I'm gonna drop. That's all I'm gonna say for today. Like always, this is Chaos right here. If you are, like I said, new to this channel, thank you. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos7. And you can also follow me on Facebook now as Eric Rain. I will probably eventually start putting descriptions after I'm finished rolling in the last few episodes for the podcasting side of my channel. And I have some more other episodes there still. I'll probably put that as a links once it's all in there. And on that, thank y'all for listening. Like I said, if you have any questions and concerns, leave a comment in the comment section of this video here, or on Facebook if you add me as a friend, or on Twitter. Also, share the stream. Sharing is caring, like always. And like always, I'll look forward to hearing from you. But other than that, you know what it is. Let the chaos reign.